Well, it's time for another server restart in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to Server Restart In, so World of Warcraft podcast, where three opinionated players gather to discuss the current state of the game, as well as news and events and other topics related to it. My name is Jim, and I'm joined by Kristen.
Hi.
And Brian.
Hello.
And this week, it's not funny, I think we'll, I don't know exactly what we're going to talk about. The pre-patch event has started, and the Scourge invasion has begun. And with that, we are starting to see some familiar faces that we haven't seen in 12 years. A lot of the bosses from the dungeons and the raids of Icecrown are now running rampant in that zone on a 20-minute timer for 14, so 7 hours, you get to see every single one of them. But, you start off doing a little bit of stuff.
It feels slightly predictable.
Yeah, just a little bit. But hold on, I'm going to put the cat down. Yeah, that got me thinking, it's kind of reminiscent of the start of Lich King. Now, we haven't necessarily got to the part yet where we turn into zombies and do all that stuff. But we're out there farming Argent Crusade stuff to get gear and whatnot. And we're just,
Get gear.
Well, okay. We're not getting gear because we're on our mains and we already have really good gear.
No,
What
when I'm
item
on
level
an
does it
alt,
match? Is it normal?
It's 100. Item level 100.
The gear you buy from the the vendor is 100, I think.
Yeah.
And the rares are dropping 110. And I believe the Nathanos World Quest drops a 115 weapon for your loot spec type.
So 115 is heroic, right?
Is heroic Nyalotha, yes.
So I did an entire circuit today on my
Oh
priest.
my gosh.
Yeah. And I didn't get a single piece of gear drop.
Are you serious?
I am not kidding. It's
God.
Scourge stones all day, so I am buying the gear for upgrades, but which it is an upgrade for me. Like my item level is like 88 or something like that. It's so low.
Yeah, I mean, it could have been a little bit better, maybe not making it so that one, they were just spawning on a timer like that. The next one spawns 20 minutes exactly after the previous one spawns. So one will spawn at 1 minute after the hour, and then 21 minutes after the hour, and so on and so forth.
So is it just me, or does it actually feel like a bad implementation?
It feels terrible.
I mean,
like
it should be more random, or
engaging.
They shouldn't be tied. Well, I guess engaging, and they sent us up there and all that stuff, and there's really not a lot to do, and I don't know if it's just.
I feel bad for being negative about it, but like,
oh, it's terrible. I
felt like I read about it differently the whole time, and then I got into it, and I'm like,
yeah.
What is this?
I feel like it would have been a little. It is definitely not alt friendly because you're spending all of the time on one character trying to go through, and it's ridiculous. But not only is it not alt friendly, it would have been better and a little bit more alt friendly if the tokens that you got were account bound instead of character bound. So that way, at least you could go through.
You can only get them from the vendor though, can't you?
Yeah.
The tokens?
You get.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, so
they don't drop like randomly, do they?
No,
No.
You get them from questing, and then when you're killing mobs out there that are level 50, and the rares, you get the green and the blue Scourge stones.
Yeah.
Which you turn in. So you do like the first daily quest, which you gather them, and you get up to 100% or whatever, you turn that in, and then you can start turning in multiples of 25 of each to get some of the
3 for the blues and 1 for the greens.
yeah, which is crazy because you always have more blues than greens if you're doing the rares.
Yeah.
The rate at which you get the green ones is pretty low.
It's so weird.
It is. It's I don't know. It's I don't,
I don't
it's just like a little grind, I guess.
like they had one of the interns come up with it.
I
They
hope
didn't run the implementation.
I mean, I'm sure it's a metrics thing. Like, oh, look at how many people are logged into WoW and are playing the game when they're just sitting there waiting for mod. You know what I mean? Like, ugh.
I think if they added something that was close to like Legion pre-patch, where you could go level up as well.
Yeah.
But I can confirm that you cannot see or do any of it.
Unless you've done
At
the
least if
quests.
you're 38. I know I got on at level
Oh.
38 and I couldn't do any of it. So
you couldn't even start it.
No, you have to be 50, I think, to.
Well,
you can
start
go.
it.
You can go tag Nathanos. He is there, but you can't get the quest or anything.
You probably don't get the world quest pop up because he's a world quest, like a world boss.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
So that's probably why. Maybe next week, the second half of the event, will be
be better.
better for lower level characters. And I just mean more involved for lower level characters as opposed to no, you're talking about them killing the quest givers and not allowing low level characters to turn stuff in. That's not I'm talking about being involved in the event and getting something out of it, as opposed to right now where the only people who can interact with it or be engaged in it are people that are already max level.
Let me tell you that bag is a myth.
It's not.
I've killed them 3 times now.
Brobo just got it.
It's a myth.
Like 15.
Oh, I thought it was guaranteed.
Nope.
That's why.
Oh, no.
Nope.
No, nothing is guaranteed in this game.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
Well, some things are, but
it's crazy.
yeah, I don't know. It's just another carrot on a stick, so chasing after
I
stuff.
don't. It's a pretty bad one though.
It's a really terrible one.
I feel bad because
really
like I don't know,
is.
like are they just so damn busy they just didn't have time to put any more juice into it? You know, like
I mean, what would you have done? It's just like they're trying to make it predictable, I
I
guess,
mean-
so that people can plan it out, and they put it on a 7-hour cycle so that way it will rotate.
oh, well, I don't necessarily mean
Time-wise.
that. I mean more like I think I don't know, they could have done something a little bit more engaging. I don't. It just seems like it's probably like the lowest on the lowest ranking pre-patch content they've done.
Well, yeah, it's definitely
Uh,
not starting off with a bang for sure.
What was the
Yeah.
BFA content?
The pre-patch stuff for BFA?
Yeah,
That's a good question.
I don't remember.
Oh, was
That's a
there
good question.
Oh man, now we're gonna be. It's like people are gonna think we don't even play the game
I know. I just
Google-
don't remember.
Google to the
I
rescue.
just don't remember what it
because
was.
that was.
Right. I'm
yeah.
telling you.
Oh well, it's also been like 2.5 years. So
yeah.
Well, I remember the Legion pre-patch.
I remember
Dude,
that
the
too because
Legion
that one was
pre-patch
I
was
mad.
spent a lot of time
fun.
at Crossroads waiting for the demon invasion to come in.
Burning the Teldrassil.
Oh, it was all the Warfront stuff where we went into. Did we do stuff in Arathi Highlands and then stuff in Darkshore? It was all that campaign stuff, and it ended with the Lordaeron
Battle for Undercity.
Yeah,
Oh, that's right. The Battle for Undercity. That's right.
and then like whoever.
I don't remember the context of it though.
Well, it was the whole war for the Azerite because the Azerite. So the Sargeras stabbed the planet, and then between the end of Legion and the beginning of BFA, the Azerite pockets started coming out, and Gallywix was showing it to Sylvanas, and she's like, "Oh, that's gonna make us, stronger, and we can finally beat the Alliance." And Anduin's like, like they had the whole thing where the goblins were working in Silithus, and we had to go. Were we stopping them? Or no, we were fighting the SI-7, I think, that were trying to stop the goblins from mining it in Silithus.
Oh, that was when the
That was in
GCD changed too.
Yeah, that was in the very beginning. And then, did we do stuff in Arathi? Yeah. Hmm.
No, from what this says, it was just burning a Teldrassil, and then if you pre-ordered BFA, then you could access the battle for Lordaeron.
Well,
Right.
there was definitely quests in Silithus, and I don't know that revolved around it for sure. I don't know if there was just a few quests there. It wasn't necessarily a I mean, if you think about it now, it's kind of like when you do the quest in Orgrimmar and you fly out to Razor Hill and you just talk to the people and you do a little bit there, but that's not really the event. That's just the lead up to it.
Yeah, what's funny though is that the Legion stuff was so freaking memorable though. Like
Well,
the
I remember.
invasion everywhere. Oh man.
Well, yeah, and I still remember the Lich King one,
Yeah.
because that was like really my first like pre-patch stuff because I started at the end of VC. So, like the ghoul shit and like the flying little plague spreader shit. And then Cataclysm was the elementals were attacking the main city. I remember doing that. I don't remember what Mist was, and
I'm interested now because I don't remember either.
I don't remember what WAD was. Oh,
WAD was the portal opening crap because you went and did stuff.
oh, yeah, because they had the first dungeon that Urs or whatever. They redid that dungeon, and it was the invasion of the Iron Horde for WAD, but for Mist,
Attack on Theramore Island. Because that's when he blew it up.
maybe.
That's what Wowpedia says. So
Well, they got PD in the name, so they must be right?
yeah,
But
it just says the scenario for the scenario for the attack on Theramore Island.
okay. I mean,
Interesting.
I vaguely remember doing that, but
It's funny how much I don't remember.
well, it just goes to show what you do remember, what you don't remember, what you actually enjoyed, right?
Yeah, that's true.
It's like if this was all the pre-patch was, like going forward in 2.5 years, if we talked about this again, if we're still talking about this shit, we'll be like, what did we
Remember
do?
that time we mentioned the pre-patch?
It's like we killed Nathanos and then maybe some other stuff. I'm sure there was Scourge involved. It's a neat concept that these things.
Wait, Nathanos dies?
Oh, I'm sorry. We fight Nathanos. Technically, I guess we don't kill Nathanos. So
We don't.
Yeah.
Oh man, that poor guy.
Poor guy. He got what he
Poor
wanted.
guy. He was
well,
excited.
he got the express lane to the mall.
Which is what I'm sure he wanted it. I've read.
It'll be interesting to see like what comes of that. That's I don't know. That was a good one though.
Yeah, I think what like I was reading some stuff, like comments on it, and somebody's like, she pretty much just gave him like the worst death possible because she cut him off mid sentence and didn't let him finish his
Yeah.
Monologue.
his like insults and shit like that, his goading and all that stuff. But yeah, no, it was pretty cool.
I still hate the way she looks. I think she looks.
Really? I think she looks great.
I don't know. She looks derpy to me.
Is it the eyeshadow stuff?
I don't think it's the eyeshadow. I think it's
just her face in general.
I don't know. I just hate
Like
Niles.
that. Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't see. I thought you posted that picture, and I was like, "Dang, she looks good."
Really?
Yeah.
Night elves are okay if you cook them right.
Yeah, I think she's and her new armor, or her armor and her glaives. And
Yeah. So compared to like her being
badass.
the priestess, yeah, she is badass. But I think her model itself just looks.
I mean, I'm not
weird.
I'm not a fan of hers by any stretch, but I mean, I think I really do
Legion
think she
kind
looks
of
good.
killed any goodwill towards her when you're helping Malfear and try to find her.
Oh my god!
It's like surrender.
Oh my god! Seriously.
That was so annoying.
I think that's one of the reasons I never go back to Val'sharah
Yeah,
to level.
I always do Azuna, and usually
Yep.
I was done by then. But yeah, so kind of back to where I was trying to lead things.
No bad.
No. That's the way this podcast works, right? we say something and like 15 steps later we double back. But yeah, so again, it's reminiscent of the first Scourge invasion, and we're seeing a lot of Scourge related people. So I figured maybe we could talk kind of about some of our favorite in-game lore type events that, like we've already talked about some of them in the context of pre-patch. But I mean, as far as just overall stuff happening in the game, like what do you think is, just you never forget kind of thing, and I'll just kind of throw the main one out there that, a lot of people it was probably like one of the first in-game cinematics that I remember, but the Wrathgate. When you're doing that quest line and they're attacking the Wrathgate, trying to draw Arthas out, and they, beat all the Scourge down, and Arthas comes out and just goes nuts. And I guess before that, the Alliance, they're getting beat down, and then the Horde comes down, and then Arthas kills them all, and then they launch the Plague attack and all that stuff. It's just like that just had like this really epic feel about it. And it was really, it really kind of drew you into the whole we're trying to kill Arthas kind of thing. And it also kind of showed you that he wasn't invincible, right? Because he was weakened by the plague, and he goes in and he's basically clutching his side and all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool. I like that one, but I don't know. I don't know if the cutscenes and stuff have kind of like lost their luster for me.
Because of the graphics or what?
No, I like the graphics. I usually think the graphics are pretty good, but I don't know.
Well, it doesn't have to be a cutscene. It could just be a quest. It could be just something that's just happening in the game. Something that just kind of,
I think it's I mean, the numerous times that the Lich King pops out during the expansion while you're leveling, I think that's the super memorable thing for me in this game.
Like at the end of Drak'Tharon at the dungeon where the troll had you go in there and then he gets turned into like the undead troll that you have to fight later.
Yeah, and even like when you're leveling in, well, no, I don't know what the name is.
Icecrown?
Howling Fjord.
Oh.
Yeah, so whenever you're leveling there and he pops out in or around Valgard or Utgard Keep somewhere, not in the dungeon itself, but you're leveling somewhere in there and he pops out to threaten you.
I'm trying to think.
He also did it over in the Borean Tundra, close to the Tonka village.
Yeah.
Because he was at the top. Was he at the top? Somebody else was at the top, maybe, but he appeared there too.
I don't know.
I don't remember.
It was the Lich at the fallen obelisk, or not obelisk, but the floating necropolis that fell. And you have to go up to the top and kill that Lich up there. Does he show up there?
I thought he did. I'm pretty. These little blips of memories.
Oh yeah, I mean no, they
recalling back.
They put him around there a lot.
But just the I don't know, man. The Lich King was always like the super dark knight for World of Warcraft, and I think that really like tied the experience in Lich King together really well. And I don't think they've done anything as well as they did that.
I would say the closest thing they've done to that was Legion and bringing in Illidan.
Yeah, you know what sucks? I think they I don't know. I don't like necessarily the way that they glorified Illidan as much as they did.
Did they glorify him, or did they just kind of?
It kind of started in Cataclysm as well, because he was in the Well of Eternity, and he had that role where he leads you to the dungeon and stuff. And I don't know, I like Illidan. That's the thing. Like, I feel like he's kind of put on a pedestal in Legion, and retconned quite a bit. So I don't know. It left a dirty taste in my mouth. I may be wrong about being retcon and stuff, but I feel
Well-
like he was weaved into the story quite a bit, and they tried to patch up a lot of stuff from before.
Well, I think what that was doing was it was showing the different sides. So you look at things and you think, "Oh, this is what happened." But then like they show you it from the other side, and so it forces you to be like, "Oh, this is what really happened, but we didn't know because we didn't know it from his side." You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's all we knew was he went to Outlands and was forming these armies, and it seemed like he went off the deep end, and then really he was just still trying to achieve some of the same goals to stop the Burning Legion. He was just going to different extremes.
Well, yeah, but we weren't privy to knowing any of that.
Right, no,
right.
yeah.
So
I'm not disagreeing.
yeah. So I mean that's why I like that they do that stuff. It's kind of like, looking at stuff from a bad guy's perspective, right? Like, so, look at things from in Star Wars, right? If you're looking at things from Darth Vader's perspective as opposed to, kind of like when with the prequels, you kind of see.
Well, you kind of see how he became Vader.
Right.
But kind of, they weren't necessarily like the best motivations.
Sure.
But
I don't know. I like seeing the other.
the other side of the coin.
Yeah, I do. Because, I mean, it helps you to realize, oh, it's like putting yourself in somebody else's shoes. Oh, there's,
Well,
there's
just,
more out there than just what we're fed initially. So I don't know that it was, him being retconned so much as it was them adding, not adding, but
fleshing it out.
yeah, fleshing out the story.
It's just taking somebody that was just a bad guy and making them more three-dimensional.
Yeah.
Because nobody's really just a bad guy. I mean, even with Arthas, right?
But he had such a badass, mysterious, especially going into Burning Crusade, which I like. I guess if you played Warcraft 3, you experienced him. If you didn't play Warcraft 3 prior to playing World of Warcraft, then you would have been like, for the most part, you would have been like, why is this guy, why is this a bad guy here? Why is he the baddie of the Outlands? But he was badass. Like, and then I don't remember how he got defeated. I don't know if he didn't actually get defeated in BC, right?
Oh, yeah, no, you beat him at the end of Black Temple, and then the Wardens took him.
Yeah, so yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess for some reason, to me, when they try to open the wound and then patch a little bit more into it, it's not I don't know if this is the right analogy, but like the story is there and you can kind of allude to it, right? And we kind of glazed over some of the storyline around him, but then they found opportunities to, like you said, flesh those out. And I feel like it's just they're stretching to go back in and just have everybody go in and discover those characters and stuff. And like, to me, sometimes it's not that interesting.
No, I mean,
to go back and visit on a lot of that stuff. Like, I like him as a character, but then he became this like hero of the universe in Legion.
Right.
Like,
I don't know.
okay, well.
I liked what they did with him. I thought it was fantastic, to be honest. I like it when they go in and flesh out that stuff. But that kind of goes back to like how you were saying before, and probably like one of our first podcasts, how you would prefer things to be more persistent and like them not to kind of go back and elaborate on things, like just to leave them, as they were.
Yeah, maybe so. Maybe that's where I'm getting at. Because I don't know. I think I have a hard time trying to explain
Well, so
how I feel about things sometimes. But
is it that it changes or it challenges your conception of the character, like how you have him built up in your mind, right? It's like
I'm not gonna lie. I think that I have and not to oversimplify PTSD, but I think I have reservations on stuff like this just because of being burned on earlier games than World of Warcraft. Just having like I've talked about Ultima a lot, even Star Wars Galaxies. Both of those games like flipped completely on their head. And not in terms of story, but completely like just changed.
Right.
And it sucked. It was bad. It took like everything you know and loved and then changed it without regard to how you felt about it. And that felt bad. And I think I'm just probably skeptical of any and all changes.
Change is
Completely.
hard.
I mean,
Um,
I get that. It's
it's even the Lich King, even a Bolvar as a Lich King, kind of bothers me. Like when he talks and everybody's listening to him and like, well, we're gonna form a plan and do something, just by judging from the.
I mean, he's not the Lich King anymore.
You know what I'm saying, though, right?
Right.
Like he took on the helm, and then every time we went there, he's like, "Go away, or you're gonna regret it." And then like now, he's no longer the Lich King, but now he's helping us out. I don't know. I don't hate it, but it bothers me. Because I like the idea. I like the idea that there was a badass guy that always has to sit on this highest peak of whatever tower in the frozen north to control the shit that can murder us all.
Right. And
It's such a badass concept.
he like sacrificed himself to be able to, to do that.
I mean, you say he sacrificed himself. Really, he was killed and then saved by Alex Strauss's fire, and he was in no
let's be
condition to come
realistic.
back.
Like,
Yeah,
he was,
I mean, there wasn't
He
really.
had
he's probably burning still, so being in the cold probably helped.
Yeah,
quite a bit.
sitting on that nice block of ice probably felt really good on those burning ass hemorrhoids or whatever he had.
Oh my goodness.
No, I mean, yeah, that mystique of, he's like, don't tell anybody I'm alive. He's like, just let them think I died at the Wrathgate, and I will take.
By the way, guys, I'm here.
Right. Well, the only people that would have known he was even alive at the beginning of ICC are people that entered it, right? Because you can hear him yelling, and the Lich King's saying, I'm going to break you. And he's like, you'll never break me, blah, blah. And they're like, he's the paladin still alive? It's like nobody even knew he was still alive. And
Sexually tortured all the time.
when you get up to there, isn't he chained above the frozen throne?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, I mean, yeah, he did what had to be done because nobody else was going to do it. I don't know who else they would ask to do it. They could have asked me, but
What'd you play then?
huh?
What did you play then?
Death Knight?
They didn't want you.
Whatever. But I mean, I don't know. You have to think again. It's a 16-year-old game. you know?
So don't get me wrong. Like if it was my story, if I created the story, I would feel totally different. I would want to sit and navigate those characters that I created
Right.
myself. Like I completely get it, and I'm not really sure why it does bother me so much, but man, I got burned at some point in my life, and like I just can't. Especially Lich King stuff, because I really, really, really loved the Lich King expansion.
Well,
Like it was such a huge change in my life at the time that I played. Like I raided Naxxramas a few times, and I deployed to Iraq, and I was able to play a little bit there on like a 2-second delay.
oh man.
Ooh.
Hey, you learned how I learned how to
I've been
detonate
there.
that way. But yeah, and then coming back and then playing nonstop up until the Cataclysm came out was just such a huge thing for me to be able to enjoy. So I love the expansion quite a bit, and when you mess with it, it just, I don't know, it gets to me.
I mean, I don't know if they're messing with it, but I mean, I think they're just continuing, and it's a pretty good jump off point into a new expansion, obviously, but
Yeah,
like a new story.
Like I don't think they're going to destroy it. Like that's definitely not what I think. I just I don't know. I'm
I-
squeamish about.
I can't wait to find out more because some of these rares that you're killing or whatever, when they die, like some of them said something about serving the Death Lord or the Lord of Death or something like that, which that's not the Lich King, right?
Yeah.
There's where did his power derive from? Which some say the jailer, maybe it is the jailer, maybe it's not, maybe it's something else. But finding out all the backstory, because basically what we knew was that the Nathrezim, or the Dreadlords, stole the Frostmourne in the armor of domination, because it wasn't just a helm, there was a whole armor set. Stole that and brought it to Ner'zhul, and that's how that stuff got to Azeroth. Now, whether it was brought here with the intention of this stuff happening, or whether it was just brought here to aid the Burning Legion, because I guess the common knowledge at the time was that the Legion created those items, not that the Nathrezim appropriated them from somewhere else. So they were using it as a tool. The Legion was the Scourge is a tool of the Legion to do something here to allow them to get here, or to not have resistance here. I don't know.
Are they though?
Initially, they were. Yeah, that's
But
what.
were they leveraged like you were just saying? Were they leveraged through something else though?
Well, that's not necessarily where the power derived. The power didn't come from the Legion, for sure. Because,
okay. I got it. Okay,
yeah, but I'm saying that they stole that power to use it to their own ends, for their own means here. But since the power was already here, that has now allowed this shit with Sylvanas and the Jailer to happen, right? You know, that gave them just a foothold here. And whether or not that was like, did they let them steal the stuff way back in the beginning? I mean, is Azeroth even really that important, or was it that important to begin with? Or is it just like, well, we're here, so we're gonna just use it because it's here, kind of thing? I don't know. But
it'll be interesting to see.
Oh yeah, definitely. But I guess some other memorable stuff in the game, lore-wise, after the Cataclysm, I think, when you go into Western Plaguelands, I think, where you help train Zenkiki. That's probably one of the funniest quest lines.
Zenkiki is the best.
He's when you go do those quests, he's a neophyte druid, and you're trying to help him become better, and he'll do stuff like turn into the water travel form on land and flop around because he's in the wrong form, or he'll moonfire. He runs around moonfiring himself, doesn't he? Yeah. And he's just like a bumbling idiot, and it's great. But is he in Legion? He shows up later.
He's in Legion, yes, because don't you remember that picture I posted? He's in
where he's staring at your tits? Because he was...
He's in the, like, when you are in, like, your in area where your armor things are. That's where he is, in the Dream Grove.
Yeah, so he eventually shows up later, but it's hilarious.
Is that like the Johnny Awesome character?
That's another one.
Yeah.
That's after the Cataclysm, where you go do, and you are the quest giver, right?
I liked those quest lines.
That was neat, and you got to see all, like, the different stereotypes of, like, players and stuff. And, and he had the Johnny Awesome, but don't they show up later, too, somewhere? You do the quest in South Shore, at the beginning of South Shore. They show up somewhere else.
I thought Johnny Awesome was killed.
Yeah, I think so too.
Oh no, isn't he in the raid in Legion? Isn't he in the raid for Legion for what's his face? Oh, where you had to fight against the NPC raid.
Oh, Illidan?
As Illidan, yeah.
I thought that was the old Paragon players. I didn't think he was in that. I don't know, though. I could be wrong.
No, he was somewhere else, because I think all those characters, or at least he were somewhere else. It may have been later on in the Cataclysm, but they may have shown up later. And when they do stuff like that, it's just great. You know what I mean? It's like there's no real lore behind that. There's no real like part of the universe. It's just kind of tongue in cheek kind of stuff, and it just
He was in the Brawlers Guild.
okay, yeah. Was it
He was also in the Garrison in WoD as well.
were there other characters in the Brawlers Guild that were from that same stuff? Like, was it a series of them, including
Oh, I'm not sure. I just looked up.
Johnny Awesome?
Yeah, he was in the Molten Front for Fireland stuff too.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't know that.
I don't remember that. Again, it's been a long time.
Oh, it says Johnny was also part of Thrall's Thrashers and was seen AFK in the Molten Front. That's great.
Yeah, when they
That's
do
funny.
stuff like that, that's great. I
He
mean,
was in the Black Temple one.
Was he?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It says we find out retroactively in
Oh yeah.
Destiny Unfulfilled that Johnny was just as useful as normal while his first guild was raiding in the Black Temple. So I don't know. I don't remember.
Johnny participated to the raid on the Black Temple with his guild Ubertown, though he was AFK while the rest of the guild fought Illidan Stormrage.
Okay.
yeah. So it's like that. I like it when they do stuff like that. You know, they have fun with it.
That was a really good one. That they did
Yeah.
that one really well.
Yeah.
That was really good. Just the whole like the orc taking a shit in the shitter, Porta John, whatever. That was a funny part, or what? Or maybe it was a dwarf. I don't remember.
That was recent, wasn't it?
I don't know. When you go to oh, what's that little city called or town? South Shore. When you go to South Shore and you got to go to the docks, and you got to like creep around,
Right.
and then yeah, I thought it was
What
Orcus.
what was that for? Was that Legion stuff? What
This
quest?
this is the quest line in oh jeez, Hillsbrad, the post Cataclysm
Okay.
quest line.
Yeah, I don't know. Lots of stuff like
It's such it was a really good one though, and they just they took the characters beyond just one quest hub, all kinds of stuff, and it was really I love that quite a bit.
Yeah, when you see NPCs that persist throughout the stuff, so like in Legion with like your followers and stuff like that, they brought back a lot of NPCs and stuff like that from earlier expansions, or they brought them into your class hall or something like that. Like, Death Knights, you raise 4 new horsemen, right? So you get Nazgrim, you get Whitemane or Whitechapel, Whitemane, Whitemane is all I know, and then Trollbane, the king, and he was part of the First Alliance, and then you were supposed to get Tyrion, right? But apparently, Paladins raised a bit of a fuss about that, so they changed it in the game. So we just re-raised Mograine as a horseman, which I think kind of sucked.
But you tried though, right? You tried, didn't you?
You do try, and they wouldn't let you raise them. I'm like, because the light was too strong, and it's just like, get the hell out of here. That would have been fucking amazing.
That voice actor is badass.
Which one, Tyrion?
Yeah, he does quite a few of them, but I like him.
Yeah, I don't know. What else is really fun and engaging that, it should just jump right out at you, right? Because, but
I mean, walking into Hellfire Peninsula for the first time was pretty memorable for me. The music that first plays in Hellfire, the long distance trumpet or horn or something that you hear, that gives me chills every time I hear it, just because it can bring me right back to the day in January of 2007 of walking into Hellfire Peninsula. And it's creepy because I remember exactly what I was doing, where I was at, almost down to what I was wearing. Oof. Gives me chills every time I hear it.
you got a problem.
I do. There's
Yeah,
no doubt about that.
I do that with ICC, like Ice Crown. we were talking the other day, like when we were back in there, and it was like, oh, remember all the time we spent farming titanium?
Oh yeah, like I would work nights.
Every time I hear the music,
And I
like,
bring my laptop to work, and I would
Uh-huh.
just all night for like an 8-hour shift. I would just fly circuit farming Serenite and titanium
yeah,
and ice crown. I mean, because I was using a cell phone internet connection, but I had to like wasn't using my phone. I had bought another.
Did you buy a USB adapter where you plugged in your
No.
SIM card to it or something like
It
that?
wasn't a USB adapter. It actually was a big long device that fit into those card slots. What the fuck? Like, what the fuck? was it?
PCI.
Yeah, on a laptop. Like the
PCI. It was a PC, like mini PCI, or
mm.
dude, it was
yeah,
huge.
it was a card that slid to the side of it, right?
Yeah, like normally you have the ones you can pop them out and you can put in your little the micro SD card, not SD cards, but
Yeah, there were. Yeah, I remember. I had one too.
and I had it through the cell carrier or whatever, and I think I did just put my thing in there, my cell phone, my SIM. I would just throw that in there, and I,
Yeah.
you know, it was like if I was getting 700 ms, that was a good night. And I would off tank Nax at work sometimes.
Oh god,
Yeah, sometimes I'd have to stop to actually work in
That's
the middle of
crazy.
a pull. It was sometimes, you know, if I'm off tanking, I could just sit there and do the thing and like hit taunt.
So when I got to where I was going to be staying in Iraq, I met a guy that was healing Nax Ramus on whatever connection he had there.
Mm-hmm.
But I paid rather. I paid $100 a month,
Ugh.
and like my speeds, they were terrible. Like when I was playing the game, it was like 2,000 millisecond.
Yeah, that
lag,
sounds
so-
horrible.
But I got used to it, and I still had fun. I couldn't do any raiding, but
Yeah.
there was somebody there that was healing as a druid.
Wow.
Oh god, nope, no thanks.
Yeah.
It's funny though.
I finally made a healer, and like I think I've healed a few dungeons, and that's probably it. I think I did some LFR on the healer back when the Nashitar raid was Eternal Palace.
Mm-hmm.
When that was out, I did some of that, which I don't know why. LFR sucks so bad, you know, and then like, going in there as a healer, and I'm just like, man, I'm out of mana. It's like, oh, I'm just spamming chain heal. What the fuck? Probably shouldn't do that. But, you know, it's just healing has just never really been for me, I guess. So I can't imagine, like, I have a good computer and a pretty good connection. I can't imagine having to do that.
Lag healing.
Yeah.
Mm.
No.
I used to heal on dial-up in vanilla, which wasn't too bad. I mean, I was a holy priest, so, you know, and you had groups, like, we had one person who was spec'd into, like, the divine spirit buff, right? And we'd have healing rotations, and they would be the first healer that would be healing, like, the main tank and stuff. And then they would completely, you know, run themselves out of mana, right? And then just sit there and regen while all the other priests took over and other healers took over, right? Oh my god. That was
I don't
fun.
miss the last time I played on dial-up. I was playing EverQuest, and that's when they first came out with random dungeons. There's a little bit different. They had like there's a couple different quests you could get for the dungeon, so it could be like you had to save somebody and escort them out or something like that, or you had to kill the end boss, or you had to loot something, a bunch of things or something like that. But they were instanced for the first time.
Oh, I was gonna say, because weren't the EverQuest ones public dungeons?
Yeah, most of them were like raid type dungeons,
Right.
and that was it. And yeah, they weren't instanced, but in like 04 they came out with the Lost Dungeons of Norath, and all those were instanced. So,
Mm.
But that's the last time I actually played on dial-up, and it was terrible. It was so bad.
Yeah.
I was druid healing too.
Oh.
Pretty sure I can
It was
honestly
bad.
say I've never done online gaming on dial-up.
Hmm.
Gosh, it was just the worst.
There was nothing really that I played at the time and by the time I started getting into gaming on my own, like when I was out of the parents' house and all that stuff, we had DSL. Or I had DSL, so but I mean, you're talking, 3 megs, right? Yeah, that was the base speed for DSL or something like that. So
It's crazy, man. I don't miss it. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, me
No.
either.
Even playing Ultima Online on dial-up was terrible because it was like 2D. So you'd have your lag would be like the mob jumping twice as close to you before it updates. You know.
Oh my god,
And-
it's like playing in Ice Crown now. Oh my god, the lag is so bad.
yeah,
Oh, it's
Oh,
terrible.
the Forge Master, the first boss from Pit of Sauron,
Hmm.
where he throws out the Serenite chunks and you have to hide behind him to dodge the frost lines that come from him. Big giant frost giant dude. He's
Does
one
he
of,
appear there too?
he's one of
Mhm.
the rares. Before, when he first, like the first 2 days, he would just, like those ice flows that come out of him came out in all directions at the same time. And like normally I'm like 60 plus FPS. When he was up, 15.
Yeah, it was
It's like
terrible.
with all the people there and all this stuff, they've since changed his ability set. He doesn't do that anymore.
Oh,
No.
that's funny.
So now it's just down to 30.
Yeah.
Well, hey, you want to know something that might make you feel bad?
Did you just get the bag?
No, I didn't. But
no, it's
it-
not on.
I know.
We just did it.
I just did my second rare in a row, and I got a loot drop.
Look at this fucker playing while recording. What an
Oh
asshole.
my god.
I mean, I can't use it this character, but I did get it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's frustrating.
The OG Lich King the runic looking spike shoulders that were so popular.
Hmm.
The regular shoulders in Lich King that were always popular for all the plate wearers.
Right.
Oh, do they have like kind of like the horns that kind of came down
Yeah.
around them? Yeah.
And then they
Yeah.
made the runic ones that were slightly blue.
Yes. Yep.
Yep, that's what dropped.
Nice.
It's interesting.
Yeah,
Well, it's all updated gear for that they dropped initially.
I've gotten the same helmet twice on my druid, and that's the only thing I've gotten gear. I mean, I don't need anything on my druid, but that's the only thing that I've gotten to drop
Most of the stuff
other than Scourge Stones.
I already have appearance wise. Apparently you can still get the blue proto drake from Scotty when he spawns. And
Really?
and of course, I didn't fucking get it.
Oh,
I ran that goddamn dungeon on heroic every fucking day for a long ass time, and I have never seen it. I'm so mad.
you know what I don't have yet? I still don't have
What?
the proto drake, the 3 proto drake thing in the Oculus.
Oh, the 3 drake?
You get a mount for it. I've never gotten it.
Is that where you have to do it with a group of all one color?
Yeah, I think so. Because you got to do it like 3 days in a row or something like that to get it.
Yeah. Can you just go in and solo it?
I don't think so. I think you have to have. Let me double check. I might be wrong.
I don't know.
I know at a certain point, I just never went back and did it.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's not a part of that. Oh, it's the meta
Oh.
achievement. Yeah, the meta achievement for dungeons will get you. Yeah, Glory the Hero. I've never gotten
Oh.
that one.
I'm
That's the
s-
only. Oh no, I have 2. I haven't gotten. Oh, why I'm so bad.
I'm so bad at going back and doing that. I just can't be bothered.
It's just so funny because like Zombie Fest. No, wait, hold on. Where was that? Let me go back.
I have.
Oh, brand spanking new. That achievement I completed December 28th, 09. And, like, you know what I mean? There's like 20 something achievements here,
Yeah.
and I still don't have those 2.
Right. Right. Yeah, I'm
lazy.
glad that we did the Nyalotha and the Zara Lore meta ones but I still have one left for the Eternal Palace.
I mean, I still have to do Nyalotha as well. I mean, I'll go back and do it later.
I mean, you say that, but
I do that stuff.
Do you? Because I don't. I'm so bad.
I
when
mean,
it
right
comes to
now I've
that.
been running ICC like nonstop. Well, I mean, not now, but I was before this stuff started. Because I would just go on all my characters, and I would just do the whole thing to try and get T-Mogs for the other classes and whatnot. But still no Invincible. It's a myth.
You can't see him.
Yeah, he's too invincible to see.
Oh my goodness. Okay, trade chat.
Oh,
Good God. Next, you're going to be starting with the
Anal Thunder Fury.
yes.
Blessed Blade of the Windseeker.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know what else has been good in the game.
Good in the game. I
Just
mean,
like enjoyable, like
you can-
story wise.
Oh.
When they first introduced the PvP arena for South Shore, that was a blast. You remember when they introduced that? It was like a battleground kind of thing.
Is that the thing they turned into a brawl?
Is it a brawl? It might
Like
be.
it was South Shore Brawl now. I don't remember.
Yeah, it was like when that first came out, it was just fun to go in and just do that and like go back to the glory days of PvP servers when there would just be the constant pushback in that zone between those two hills or South Shore and what was something Mill.
Torn Mill.
Torn Mill, yeah. And the fact that they made that a PvP thing, that was pretty fun.
yeah, I did like that. That was cool. Oh, the 16th anniversary stuff is going on now, right? So you can do the events. You can do what? Korok's Revenge and
Yeah, apparently that's not as good for leveling as it was the first time they did that. But
shocker, they've nerfed it.
I guess that
Yeah.
makes the time walking raid finder stuff up again,
Mm-hmm.
where you would do the different wings for. Does that mean you can still get the Deathwing mount?
Could you get the
Is it
Deathwing
a-
mount from it?
That's where you got the Deathwing mount from, was
Oh.
from doing those 3 wings
Right.
from BC,
That's right.
Lich King, and Cataclysm.
Yeah, I don't know.
Wait, where did you queue for that at?
Caverns of
Caverns
Time.
of Time. Yeah.
Oh.
You go down there and do it, and yeah, it was a pain in the ass.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. That was a
It
pain
was-
in the butt.
Yeah, it was.
Nobody could do the fucking safety dance.
Nobody
Yeah, that took
remembered how to do
forever.
the fights at all. It was really bad because we went back and killed them, so many times.
That's been
but-
a year already?
Yeah,
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
I know.
I know. Sucks getting old, right?
It does, yeah.
oh
Gosh, that's crazy.
man, yeah. I don't. I don't know if it was broken when I went down there or what, but I couldn't figure out like how to. I couldn't get. I don't know if you had to. Do you have to get into the Korok's Revenge just by queuing for it?
I thought you could just queue from the PvP menu.
I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's one of
Yeah.
the special PvP things.
Yeah.
It's not as good though.
Yeah, it was okay in the beginning when it was like when everybody was doing it, but now people probably just aren't even doing it. I don't think it
The
gives.
scaling's kind of weird. Like
don't
I played
remember.
on a low level shaman and it was kind of funky, but
I don't
nothing
remember
crazy.
which one that one is. Is it the Turn Mill
Alteric
one?
Valley.
Oh, Alteric Valley. That's
Yeah.
right. Oh, that's right. Because
Yeah, the
we did
old-
that last year and leveled all of our characters that way. A lot of characters that way.
I don't know if I leveled anybody in there.
I definitely did. You tend to level all yours. Like I wait until the end of the expansion now and just level them with whatever easy catch up mechanic they have for,
Except for this one.
Yeah. No, I did for this one. They didn't really have anything for this one. I mean, they did the level squish, and that was good enough. I leveled a lot of characters.
Oh yeah,
Um,
that just made leveling that much easier
Yeah,
with
going
the current level squish.
5 levels. All you had to do was do Vol'dun, and then like if you were 110
Yeah,
before
if
to
your
120,
character's at
you were
110,
45, and then you went from 45 to 50. And
you
it
were
was,
almost 46. Really,
Yeah.
The leveling's insane. The
Yeah.
leveling, like
it's
I
good.
feel like No, I think it's great. It feels great.
Yeah.
It's just you get a lot of XP for certain things, and it's a lot more than I thought you would get. My shaman leveled up. I got him to about level 38 or 39 now, and he was 23 when it switched over, 52 to 23.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I played two-ish days.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like he got from 23 to 38, so it's crazy.
Yep. Yeah. My Zandalari troll, before I switched my main character over to a Zandalari troll, I was leveling her so that way I could get the heritage armor, and it went real fast. I was like, dang, I'd been like going so slow to level, and I don't even know what I did to get to 50. I don't remember how I got there so fast, but it was like I was
Just
like, dang,
probably
all of a
just
sudden I
leveling.
was there, and I was like, huh, okay, you know. It
Well,
was,
I won't lie. I've kind of fell in love with Assassin's Creed Valhalla. So
is it a new one?
Yeah, it's a Viking
Oh,
one.
it's a what?
Viking
Oh,
Valhalla.
I just know that a lot of people are playing it now. So
It just came out,
yeah.
so I mean, they'll get bored with it pretty quick.
Well,
oh no, Odyssey. Odyssey was the last one. It was Greek mythology
mm.
stuff. Fantastic game. I
Mm.
didn't think I was gonna get into it, and I did, and I played it all the way through, like 100%. It was crazy. I haven't done a game like that in a really long time, but
Yeah, I'm ready for Baldur's Gate 3 to get out of early access and to just be done. But I mean, that's not gonna happen for a while.
Yeah, I don't think it should either. I think
Mm.
they're just ironing all the kinks out of the gameplay and stuff like that, and
There are a lot of bugs.
there's a lot of kinks in there too,
Yeah.
especially if you like gay vampires.
Why?
Asterion kink. I was making a sex joke. I don't know.
Oh, Jesus.
That's great, Brian. All right. Well, that's going to about wrap it up for us tonight. I think we kind of just went over some of our thoughts on the current phase of the pre-patch event. Talked about some memorable lore events in the game and whatnot. Thanks everyone for listening. You can check us out at facebook.com/server restartin. It's all one word. You can send us a tweet at server_restart, and we'll have a next episode coming out next Monday. Yep, I don't know. Thanks for listening, guys.
I
Talk
love
to you
how
later.
you say all of that stuff, and I don't. Does anybody even check those accounts?
All right, guys. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.